Ferrari's billion-dollar bet on Lewis Hamilton just backfired, and now the team's top executives are losing patience fast. After a year of 0 podiums, brutal defeats to Leclerc, and rising frustration inside Maranello, insiders say the tension is off the charts. Could Ferrari actually pull the plug on Hamilton before 2026? And what bombshell is being whispered behind closed doors? If you love real F1 drama, hard facts, and team chaos, subscribe right now, because this story is unraveling faster than anyone expected. From the moment Hamilton signed his 2-year deal with Ferrari, expectations were sky high. This wasn't just a move for performance, it was symbolic. Ferrari believed they were bringing in a veteran champion who could steady the ship, out-develop the car, and inspire the Scuderia's culture into a winning one. But as the 2025 season unfolded, it became clear. This was not the start of a golden era, it was a storm waiting to hit the factory floor. Internally, Ferrari's boardroom has gone from hopeful to hostile. According to sources close to Maranello, the executive leadership expected podiums, not excuses. There's growing frustration that Hamilton, despite his legendary status, never adapted to the SF25's inconsistent rear grip or aggressive setup philosophy. Reports suggest that during post-race debriefs, tensions rose as Hamilton repeatedly cited confidence issues and a lack of field feedback that the team found vague and unproductive after months of setup changes. The numbers paint a brutal picture. Hamilton ended the season with 0 podiums, fewer than 100 points, and was consistently outperformed by Charles Leclerc in both qualifying and race trim. Ferrari executives, especially those outside the racing department, have begun questioning the return on investment. Hamilton's salary is among the highest on the grid, and so far, that investment has yielded no measurable competitive gain, no marketing surge, and little internal morale boost. That lack of return has triggered deeper questions among Ferrari's upper ranks. Some on the board feel Hamilton's style doesn't suit Ferrari's current engineering culture, a team that thrives on directness, fast iteration, and traditional driver-engineer dynamics. Hamilton, who came from a deeply integrated Mercedes environment where he shaped the team over a decade, suddenly became an outsider trying to mold Ferrari into something it never was. And that cultural clash is starting to show. Meanwhile, the pressure on Fred Vasseur, the team principal who pushed for Hamilton's signing, has quietly increased. While there's no public criticism yet, the board's patience has limits. Vasseur bet on Hamilton to change Ferrari's fortunes not just in terms of performance, but in leadership and long-term development. One bad season might be written off, but 2 in a row, especially under the intense spotlight of 2020 SI's regulation overhaul, could spark a serious internal shift. Worse still, Hamilton's own statements haven't helped calm things. In press interviews, he's admitted to feeling lost, described himself as not competitive, and at one point even hinted Ferrari deserves better. While honest, those words have been interpreted by some in Maranello as distancing language, the words of a driver already mentally detached from the project. That perception has added fuel to conversations about whether the partnership can truly last beyond next season. Ferrari is now stuck between protecting its image and preparing for the future. The executives know that publicly cutting ties with Hamilton too early would signal instability. But they also recognize that continuing with a fading performance narrative into a high-stakes 2026 season could be just as damaging. Behind the scenes, they are quietly evaluating contingency plans, including accelerating young driver programs and reassessing technical leadership in case this tension turns into a full-blown crisis. With the 2026 regulation overhaul approaching at full speed, Ferrari's leadership faces a critical dilemma: who will lead the technical direction of their next-generation Formula One car? Traditionally, this role falls to the most experienced driver, someone with the ability to translate on-track behavior into clear engineering feedback. Initially, that responsibility was expected to be shared between Hamilton and Leclerc. But after a turbulent season, Ferrari's engineers are leaning more and more toward Leclerc as the central voice shaping their 2026 car. Charles Leclerc's technical feedback has proven more consistent, more aligned with Ferrari's simulator data, and more actionable during car development. His familiarity with Ferrari systems, terminology, and design evolution gives him an edge in shaping the direction of the chassis and aero package for the 2026 season. In contrast, Hamilton's feedback, often focused on driver feel rather than raw numbers, has been harder to integrate, especially in a team that demands immediate solutions under pressure. That shift in influence has not gone unnoticed in the paddock. Leclerc's position within the team has strengthened considerably. His engineers have gained more control in strategy meetings, and his requests are being prioritized when it comes to testing new parts and software upgrades. If this trend continues, Ferrari's 2026 car will be tailored more to Leclerc's driving style, sharp, reactive, and built around confidence in front-end grip, which may unintentionally sideline Hamilton's strengths entirely. There's a deeper strategic risk to this direction. If the 2026 car is developed without Hamilton's needs in mind, and he continues to struggle with rear instability and braking feedback, the team could enter the new era with one competitive driver and one passenger. That would be a disaster under the new format, especially with active aero and advanced ERS systems demanding dual driver data to maximize simulator correlation and weekend optimization. Ferrari's executive committee is already asking tough questions about long-term lineup planning. Hamilton is contracted through the end of 2026, but clauses in that agreement may allow for a mutual termination should performance targets not be met. Several names have been quietly floated as future replacements, not just experienced drivers like Carlos Sainz, but also academy prospects like Oliver Behrman, whose F2 success and simulator performance have caught the attention of the technical team. Meanwhile, Hamilton's role inside the team is becoming more symbolic than strategic. Internally, some staff view him as a global brand ambassador who brings media presence and prestige, but not engineering value. That perception, whether fair or not, creates division. A top-tier team cannot afford ambiguity when it comes to leadership, especially not in a season as pivotal as 2026, where the competitive reset could either restore Ferrari's title hopes or bury them further in the midfield. If Hamilton wants to remain relevant in Ferrari's next chapter, he must reassert himself as a performance driver, not just a legacy icon. That means adapting faster, engaging deeper in technical sessions, and matching Leclerc in both qualifying and race execution. Because in a team built on hierarchy, performance is the only currency that counts. And right now, Hamilton's account is running dangerously low. For Lewis Hamilton, this situation is more than a temporary dip in form. It's a potential rewrite of how his legendary career will be remembered. After dominating the hybrid era, becoming the face of a generation, and redefining the boundaries of performance and activism in Formula One, Hamilton's final chapter was expected to be one of elegance and victory. Instead, it risks becoming a slow fade, a story of missed expectations, awkward team dynamics, and disappointing results. Legacy in Formula One is shaped as much by how a driver finishes as how they peak. Just ask Sebastian Vettel. And right now, Hamilton's 2025 season has raised questions that no one was asking just 12 months ago. Has he lost the final edge? Has the sport evolved past his instincts? Or is Ferrari simply the wrong place at the wrong time with the wrong car? These questions will follow him into every race of 2026, and the answers may define the end of an era. There's also the question of whether Hamilton even wants to stay beyond this contract. Privately, sources close to his camp suggest the mood is shifting. He remains driven, yes, but increasingly frustrated with Ferrari's operational chaos and strategic indecision. Unlike Mercedes, where he enjoyed total control and mutual trust, Ferrari feels fragmented. If the 2026 car does not perform, or worse, if it's designed around Leclerc, Hamilton could walk away before the season ends. Should that happen, where does he go? There are no clear landing spots. Red Bull is locked with Verstappen. Mercedes is moving forward with Russell and a youth-driven rebuild. Aston Martin is tailored around Alonso and Stroll. That leaves limited options. Some have speculated about a media pivot, team ownership, or even a full retirement from motorsport to pursue broader ambitions. But there's a difference between leaving on your own terms and being pushed out by results. Then again, Hamilton has defied the odds before. He reinvented himself in 2013 after leaving McLaren. He rebuilt his dominance in 2017 after Rosberg's departure. He came within one lap of an 8th world title in 2021 despite a season of constant adversity. That same resilience could ignite one final push if the team gives him the right tools and if he still believes in the fight. But that window is closing, and the paddock is watching closely. The younger generation is already defining the sport's future. Lando Norris, Oscar Piastri, George Russell, they're fast, hungry, and not intimidated by reputation. If Hamilton wants to stay relevant in this new era, he has to beat them on track, not just outshine them in the press room. The F1 world respects history, but it only remembers results. And this next season may be the last chance for Hamilton to prove that he is still a title contender, not just a legend in decline. Ultimately, the pressure is now fully on Hamilton's shoulders. Ferrari's board is uneasy. The team's direction is shifting. The fans are divided, and the media narrative is turning. The dream was clear: bring glory back to Ferrari. But the reality is murkier, and unless something changes soon, Lewis Hamilton's time in red may end not in triumph, but in silence.